On 7's Gold Coast News, an officer trapped, children hurt, a high-speed crash on the M1.
The Mayor's multi-billion-dollar budget, rate rises and major projects revealed.
Fighting back with a baseball bat, the Coolangatta shop owner targeted by thieves again.
Clive Palmer's multi-million-dollar super yacht stuck on a sandbank in the Broadwater.
And Queensland's epic one-point win in the Women's State of Origin thanks to a Gold Coast Titans field goal thriller.
Live from the Gold Coast, 7 News with Amanda Abate and Steve Titmus.
Good evening, everyone. 4 people, including a police officer and 2 young children, have been seriously injured in a multi-vehicle crash on the M1.
Let's go live to Paige Van Luncher, and Paige, the youngest, was a 1-year-old.
That's right, Amanda. The other was 9. They're right now recovering here at the University Hospital in a serious but stable condition with their 54-year-old grandmother. She was behind the wheel of this blue ute when it slammed into the back of a police car that was on the side of the M1 around Helensvale this afternoon. That impact propelled the police car forward 150 metres, which trapped the senior constable inside. It was a delicate operation to free the officer. Firefighters were called in to use the jaws of life to cut him from the car. He was also taken to hospital in a serious condition.
There was an off-duty police officer that's witnessed the accident, and from what they're telling us initially, there was no dangerous operation of that vehicle occurring prior to the incident. What witnesses are telling us, the vehicle slowly veered off from lane 1 into the rear of the vehicle, the police vehicle.
Police say their colleague is in good spirits considering what's happened. All 4 patients are expected to make a full recovery, and there'll be a full investigation into how this horrific crash occurred.
Luncheon with that report from Southport. The cost to call the Gold Coast home is going up, with rates set to rise again. Council revealed its multi-billion-dollar budget today, with record spending on roads and the environment.
The Gold Coast's biggest budget, all about balance, building big, but
we've needed to show restraint this year to keep the rates as low as we possibly can.
Still below CPI, rates are rising by 4.2%.
Per week is half a cup of coffee.
Just over $3 a week for the average household.
$3 a week is definitely doable, but no, I really feel for families out there who are doing it tough, and that $3 a week will add up and make a big difference to them.
Can't even afford milk and bread, to be honest. Yeah, it's really stressful.
It has to go up, I guess, at some stage. You know, we've got to pay for all these parks.
Gold Coast grandfather Judd McClelland says it's worth it for the upgrades. $255 million is being spent on our roads, $290 million on green spaces and the environment, including $13 million for Greenheart. There's a 40% increase to $16 million for disaster management.
There's a lot of work to be done to make sure that we can withstand a cyclone if one hits, and to create safe spaces for the community.
There's also funding for the film industry, more for our lifeguards and extra cash to expand CCTV, as well as $26 million for a new resource recovery centre.
To ensure that the future waste does not go into landfill in our city, that the waste will transfer to energy, and predominantly a lot of it will be recycled.
The budget aims to ensure the Gold Coast lives within its means while also catering to rapid growth. Our population is expected to hit 1 million by 2041.
We need all the improvement with all the population that's arriving.
And keep those already here happy.
And Mel Whiteman now. Mel, funding for light rail will also be a major focus in the budget.
That's right, Amanda. $42 million was committed to stage 3 of the project, but there was also $14 million for the controversial stage 4 to the airport. The Mayor explaining it's part of a 50-50 deal with the state government for a detailed design looking at factors like the route and where a station will go. He says this will help to get it shovel-ready and a clearer budget.
You don't do a detailed design plan expenditure for fun. You do it because we're going to the next level, that is building it.
This comes after the opposition recently announced if it wins the election, it will put the brakes on stage 4 to hear from the community and review it.
Well, Whiteman reporting there. A business owner has been belted by a teenager while trying to defend his store. The Coolangatta man armed himself with a baseball bat after the group of thieves tried to break through his front window.
Locked inside and calling for help, Les Graw jumps into action after teens attack his shop. What's next is chaos in Coolangatta. Dodging a steel spatula, he drops his baseball bat and chases after the 15-year-old, getting punched in the process. Before a security guard intervenes. Dramatic moments occurring yesterday afternoon. It started because the shop owner tried to stop an assault.
This young fella has grabbed another kid over the bonnet of a car and is absolutely pounding his head in. I should be able to come to work and not experience that type of harassment, trauma.
This is the second time in 3 months that Les has had to defend his business from teenagers.
Yeah, you don't know what they're capable of. If they're sitting in wait, ready to jump you from behind, like they did in March.
Bashed after they verbally abused him in his own store. He claims the same teenager was involved.
It is becoming a common occurrence that these youth are terrorising our community.
Police know who the teen is and are investigating.
Oh, he's going to keep coming. He's going to keep coming. I know that.
Sam Payne, 7 Gold Coast News.
9 men charged over the murder of an ex-Mongols bikie leader will face a committal hearing next year. Shane Bowden was gunned down outside his Gold Coast home in October 2020, with security video capturing his final moments. The Crown will allege the motive for the shooting is linked to Bowden falling out with a notorious gang. His accused killers remain in custody with a hearing set for February.
A Gold Coast billionaire's super yacht has hit troubled waters, striking a sandbar and getting stuck. It took 4 hours to free Clive Palmer's pride and joy, but now questions are being asked how it happened.
Stranded in the Broadwater, Clive Palmer's $40 million super yacht, no match for a sandbar. The mega billionaire's vessel in the hands of a tugboat, yanking the super yacht free after 4 hours stuck near Wavebreak Island.
Might have to buy some spectacles for the skipper, right?
Named Australia, she set sail yesterday afternoon. By 4:30, she'd ran aground, igniting a rescue mission seen all the way from Tambourine Mountain.
I'm shocked at that.
You've got to laugh, don't you? You can afford to own it. I suppose you can afford to pull a sandbar occasionally, can't you?
After 8:30, the super yacht returned. But this morning, crew were blasting tunes, cleaning. No doubt, red-faced.
Just wanted to see if you wanted to say anything about last night. I can't promise.
The super yacht didn't sustain any damage or leave any pollution in the Broadwater, but Clive Palmer won't be the only one asking how this happened. Maritime Safety Queensland is now investigating. It's now the second time Australia has ran aground, stuck in Singapore last year. Palmer is known for his love of boats.
I've been dreaming at night about the Titanic.
So much so, he wants to build the Titanic too.
Because I've got more money now.
Hopefully steering clear of icebergs and sandbars. Jordan Quinn, 7 Gold Coast News.
Austin Butler has spoken of his time on the Gold Coast while promoting his new movie in Sydney. The Hollywood megastar plays a gang member in The Bike Riders. And last night spoke of his love of riding, which was rekindled in our city.
I was living on the Gold Coast, and there was a guy who owned a coffee shop up there, and he always had these really cool old Harleys outside. And so I asked him one day about it, and he said that he fixed up old bikes with his dad. And so I went over to his shop, and his name's Cohen. I love that guy. And so we went and we rode motorcycles together.
Well, Austin knows the coast well, having spent months here filming Elvis.
A man who also knows the coast well is Paul Burt, our coastal expert. Let's go to him now. And Bertie, you've got a very special guest there with you.
Yeah, I've got a super fan here. He loves the weather. This is Braden, everybody. Comes down and I tell you what, he just tunes into the weather and has done for years, mate. What's the weather for the weekend, buddy?
It's going to be dry and sunny.
I love your work. The enthusiasm is going to be rocking on like coolie gold. And have a look at this, everyone. A very cold start to the day today. A little bit chilly out there, of course, with those westerly winds. It looks as though we're going to see beautiful conditions coming in for the next couple of days as well. Looking stunning there. The charts are showing that high replacing that trough system, meaning clear skies, Braden. I tell you what, for the weekend, buddy, and for all the Gold Coasters out there, plan some outdoor activities, dry weather lasting all the way through for the next 7 days. That's right, mate. We'll be back a little bit later with more weather team.
Yeah.
Bertie might do himself out of a job.
Might. He knows his stuff. Thanks, Bertie and Braden. Well, still to come on 7's Gold Coast News. Thieves tear down a security camera, then steal a car.
The huge development set to transform the Botanic Gardens at Benoa.
And a push to cap petrol price rises, plus the cheapest fuel on the Gold Coast.
Security Vision has captured a masked thug wearing gloves, dismantling a security camera. The group then broke into a Helensvale home around 4:30 this morning before taking off with the owner's black BMW. Anyone who may recognise the trio or spots the sedan is being urged to contact police.
Petrol prices are again on the rise across the Gold Coast. Drivers are paying an average $1.87 for regular unleaded today. On the high end of the scale, it's about $2.29, and that's the kind of market fluctuation the RACQ wants the government to crack down on.
We really have got to the point where enough is enough. The market is not delivering a reasonable price to consumers. The Gold Coast tends to lag behind Brisbane by a few days.
The cheapest place to fill up today included United at Merrimack, where unleaded was $1.69.
A huge development has been proposed for the Botanic Gardens in Benoa. Council has revealed grand plans for a biodiversity centre, a giant complex to be built at the popular site. The centre will house a new cafe, as well as nature-based education and research facilities. The facility will also be available for hire as a wedding venue.
You can just relax and enjoy. But for locals, longer stay, comfort, education for the kids.
As yet, no date has been set for the start of construction.
The younger generation is turning the tables and teaching seniors a whole new world. Age was no barrier today as young and old stepped into the world of reality through headsets.
A morning tea with the generation gap closed through the eyes of technology.
It's fantastic. I saw a hamburger and a rainbow.
Looking through a pair of augmented reality glasses. Each person had a different experience.
I saw puppies and I saw lots of things.
An intergenerational program connecting grade 9 students from the Coomera Anglican College with Anglicare home and community clients dubbed Grand Friends.
So you can still see the real world around you, but you can see 3D objects in place within the real world.
Not just seeing, but acting out scenes as well.
I thought they were amazing. I played noughts and crosses and I sent a Rubik's Cube over to my next door neighbour.
Helen Morris even making her extended family proud.
I've got 6 grandchildren and they'll be very happy.
But this is not all just for play.
Because it extends their memories and their physical abilities and we just think it's great all round.
The program delves into different experiences from the past, present and future, enabling both the seniors and students to learn from each other.
Anglicare will bring grand friends to visit us on a regular basis, probably about once a term for this particular group. Our other groups meet once a week.
Interactions that produce smiles, making everyone's day.
Great for everyone. Well, Sally Pearson's here with sport now.
Our Sala Titan, she's starting game 2 in Origin.
And kept the series alive, Steve. Hello, everyone. A magic moment, Lauren Brown's field goal thriller. And backing up against the Bunnies, who's returning to the Titans to take on Sydney?
On 7 News, there is Aussie as meat pies and footy.
Aussie, 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 oi, oi, oi.
But old Holdens are running out of time.
so they just ride up the car.
Why it's crunch time for a national icon being forced off the roads. 7 News at 6 o'clock.
An extraordinary effort from Gold Coast Titan has secured victory for the Queensland Women's Origin side. Lauren Brown nailed a field goal to break a 10-all deadlock with 2 minutes to go to take down the Blues in Newcastle.
Goes to Brown, has time, drills it! What a kick! Lauren Brown puts the Maroons in front by 1!
And that's where they remain to take the win and even up the series 1-all. The decider will be played in Townsville in 3 weeks' time. An army of returning Titans will bolster their chances in the battle with the last place Bunnies tomorrow. Captain Kieran Foran is back in the mix. Jaden Campbell also returns for the first time since round 6, and Mo Fodawaker will be back up after Origin. The Titans are looking to take advantage of South Sydney's season-long slump, but Des Hasler remains cautious.
They're class, yeah. They're attacking, so they're a pretty handy side.
Kick-off is 3 p.m. at Seabus Stadium. Liam O'Brien will have to win his way out of the elimination round after being taken down by current world number 1 John Florence. The Burleigh local had impressive form in his opening round heat at the El Salvador Pro in Central America, but the current rankings leader proved unstoppable.
He had the one major layback on the outside, and how's that wrap in the pocket too, Chris? Yeah. Truly looking like the rankings leader right now.
Ethan Ewing had better luck moving on with a heat win directly into round 3 of the competition. A film will premiere in Sydney tonight about one of the world's most famous racehorses whose road to glory began right here on the Gold Coast. Winx amassed more than $26 million in prize money, winning her last 33 races. It's a story being told in the movie titled A Horse Named Winx.
She's really become the people's horse.
Winx was sold at the Magic Millions yearling sale in Bundle back in 2013 as an unnamed horse for $230,000. And what a bargain that turned out to be.
Yeah. Well, that's as good as winning the lotto.
Certainly is.
Thanks for help.
Coming up in 7 News at 6, topping up your super while saving on tax. The finance tips ahead of June 30.
And it looks as though the weekend's going to be pretty good. Clear skies, light winds. All your weather's next, Gold Coast.
Max Futcher is here now with the top stories just ahead in the news at 6.
Steve, just ahead in the news at 6, developing details on that M1 crash which injured a police officer at Helensvale. The new plan to cap petrol price rises after a 40-cent surge. 9 boss Peter Costello's explanation over this airport argy-bargy. A frantic search to find a missing celebrity doctor. Bangkok from $205. Cheap flights are back. We have the 5 best value destinations. And why old Holdens are fast running out of time. Details coming up at 6 o'clock.
Okay, thanks, Max. Back to Bertie now. Bertie, how long will this glorious weather continue? Oh, and Braden, I should say.
Yeah, thank you for that, Amanda. It's going to last for the next week, isn't it, Braden,
yes.
The weather? It's going to be
sunny and dry.
That's exactly right, everybody. This weather pattern is going to hold steady for the next several days. So great news for the Gold Coast. And for those Southerners who've come up here, this is our first week of winter and it's looking absolutely splendid. Let's take a look at the start of the day. Our Q1 weather cam looking stunning there. And of course, just a beautiful array of colours as the morning rose. Now, we did have a cooler start as well. Speaking of that, coming through right at this point in time at Labrador, it's 16 to 17 degrees. Northwesterly winds pushing through at the moment, quite stiff as well. Today, highs of 20 to 21 degrees across the majority of the Gold Coast. Cool up there on the western ranges, particularly at Tamarind. If you're heading up to the markets this weekend, rug on up. To the charts now, you've got that trough that's moved offshore. Clearly with that, we're seeing a ridge of high pressure behind it. That's going to leave fairly clear weather for the Gold Coast, so we're looking pretty good for the weekend. To the south, though, if you're heading to Sydney, rug on up and take a brolly with you. It's going to be wet. As you take a look around the Gold Coast for tomorrow, it's going to be clear skies on the coastal stretches, partly cloudy into the west, so 21 degrees the average high, down to about 9 degrees average this evening. A little bit cooler again around Canungra, down to about 5. Tomorrow for Surfers Paradise, 9 to 21 degrees, great conditions on the water, westerly winds 20 knots. It'll be calm as a lake along the western foreshores. Surfing, more on that shortly, but there's going to be a little bit of a pulse coming through on ahead. Well, it's looking dry all the way through to at least next week at this stage here. Let's check the waterways, everybody, if you are stepping outside tomorrow. On the surfing scene, if you're keen to get out there, looks as though we'll see those small swell magnets firing up tomorrow, 2S and D bar. Definitely worthwhile. Open stretch is a little bit fat and small on that morning tide. And you're going to find that swell's coming in from the southeast direction at around about 9-second intervals. So worthwhile if you're keen to have a good look. And of course, you're going to find you'll need a lot of volume on the surfboards. The swells are less than a metre. Now, if you're going out for a fish, trag due on the 50s. Not a lot of current out there at the moment. Bit of westerly wind could make it a bit choppy early tomorrow morning. Definitely worthwhile back inshore. Been some good-sized squid about. This bloke here knows all about the squid. Here's the original and the best. Clint Ansell from Gold Coast River Charters. Don't bother going with anyone else. This bloke knows his stuff. Getting some clients from Tasmania amongst some nice cephalopods there. Good on you, mate.
Oh, beautiful weekend ahead. And that is the Gold Coast news for this week.
We'll be back again, of course, on Monday at 5:30. On behalf of all the team, have a great weekend. The news at 6 with Max and Sharon is coming up next.